What if one metal could possibly increase your investments in 2025 and beyond? Copper is poised to move, but is it really the best conductor of electricity? I thought silver was. Stick around and I'll reveal the truth. Massive demand drivers, game-changing policies, silver's secret link, and a hidden gem investment with potential. Watch to the end for my pick. And a big shout out to Gunnison Copper Corp for sponsoring this video. But no, all my opinions are my own, and I have a question for all of you. Have you ever regretted missing a bull market? Don't let copper be next.
International Stacker.
Let's start with the basics. Copper is everywhere in our daily lives, powering the modern world we take for granted every day. Think about it. From wiring your home that lights up your room to the massive cables transmitting electricity across cities. That's just the tip of the iceberg. Now, copper is crucial for electric vehicles, where one packs in about 183 pounds of the stuff. That's 4 times more than traditional gas cars. Why? That's because EVs rely on copper for batteries, motors, and charging systems to handle all that electrical flow efficiently. Imagine driving your EV without it. It's absolutely impossible. And this chart right here shows the kilograms used per vehicle, copper, and all these other metals, but copper. It's being reported that there's not enough copper to support EV transition, says this and other studies. And don't get me started on renewable energy. Solar panels and wind turbines depend on copper for their wiring and connections to feed power into the grid. Without it, the green energy revolution grinds to a halt. Personal story, I've seen solar farms and even filmed one on my silver road trip across America. The copper infrastructure was mind-blowing.
Look at those guys. It's maybe hard to see on camera, but they're super bright. I think those are giant solar farms.
Now here's a fun fact. While silver is technically the best electrical conductor out there, copper comes in a close second. But copper wins in the real world because it's way cheaper, more abundant, and easier to work with. And that's why it's the go-to metal for most applications. Now demand is high in 2025 with global consumption hitting around 28 million metric tons. That's a solid 3% jump up from the previous year. And artificial intelligence? Yes. Those massive data centers powering ChatGPT and other tech wonders are guzzling copper for cooling systems and power distribution, potentially adding another 300,000 to 400,000 tons in copper demand by 2030. Copper is also incredibly sustainable, with over 80% of all copper ever mined still in use today because it's so recyclable. But here's the catch. Supply is not keeping up. Existing mines are depleting, and building new ones can take over 10 years. And you can see the decline in Canadian mine production of copper from 2014 to 2023. This imbalance is already pushing prices higher, creating exciting opportunities. Wait till you hear about the new policies that are about to change everything. What if I told you governments are literally pouring billions of dollars into this sector? 2025 is shaping up to be the perfect storm for copper, and I mean that in the best way possible for investors. We're talking about explosive demand from green technologies and the AI boom that's transforming industries overnight. Picture this. Global power grids are expanding rapidly to support the surge in EVs and renewables. By 2030, we'll need an extra 2.2 million tons of copper just for the EV infrastructure alone. And that ramp up starts hitting hard right now in 2025. Visualize the massive charging stations popping up everywhere, all copper dependent. AI is another game changer. Data centers are popping up everywhere, and each one requires tons of copper for efficient energy use. Experts predict AI could drive copper demand up a whopping 72% by 2050, with short-term spikes adding hundreds of thousands of tons annually. Now, if like many people in the comments say AI is going to take over the world, well, at least it needs copper to do it. So there you go. That's a little extra protection incentive there. But supply, it's lagging big time. The UN is talking about it. Copper supply crunch threatens energy and digital transitions. We'll face growing deficits after 2025, and to meet the projected 40% demand growth by 2040, the world needs to bring online the equivalent of 80 new large-scale mines. That's no small feat, folks. Add in geopolitical tensions, tariffs on imports, supply chain disruptions from China, which controls a huge chunk of global copper. And suddenly, securing domestic sources becomes urgent. This scarcity could easily double copper prices in the coming years. Excited yet? Here's your payoff. Government interventions are stepping in to unlock billions in value and speed things up dramatically. Stay tuned for details on these game-changing policies. Let me run a quick poll. Let me know in the comments below what you think the future holds and if you agree or even disagree with this assessment on copper. Now let's talk about the big policy wins that are supercharging copper's future. In 2025, much like silver, the U.S. Interior Department added copper and silver to the draft list of critical minerals. This is the first major update since 2018. This is huge because it opens the floodgates for federal funding, expedited permitting, and tax incentives to boost domestic mining. President Trump's executive orders are taking it to the next level. Executive Order 14156 declares an energy emergency, prioritizing mineral production to ensure energy security. Executive Order 14220 addressing the threat to national security from imports of copper focuses on securing critical supply chains, including copper. Executive Order 14318 focuses on fast-tracking federal permitting of data center infrastructure, what we're just talking about with AI. Then there's Fixing America's Surface Transportation Act, which is Title 41 or FAST 41, which streamlines approvals for major infrastructure projects like mines, cutting years off developmental timelines. And of course, the Offshore Minerals Executive Order is opening up new exploration areas in U.S. waters. Even the Center for Strategic International Studies is talking about this. All these actions counters China's dominance in the market, reducing reliance on foreign supplies and creating a domestic boom. As an investor, this gives you a clear edge. Faster projects, lower risks, and potentially massive returns. Imagine profiting from America's energy independence. Although Gunnison Copper does not produce any silver byproducts, I thought it was important to show how intertwined both copper and silver are with each other. Now shifting gears to silver, yes, it's the absolute best conductor of electricity, outshining copper in pure performance. That's why silver's demand is soaring in solar panels, EVs, and high-tech electronics, where efficiency is key. But here's the secret link. Somewhere between 70 and 80% of the world's silver supply comes as a byproduct, and about 20 to 30% of that from copper mining operation. When copper production ramps up, silver output naturally follows. It's like getting two metals for the price of one. Both copper and silver were added to the critical minerals list, amplifying their importance. And look at this, folks. As of recording this, we're over $44 an ounce in silver and climbing. 50 is right around the corner. And again, although Gunnison is a pure copper play, I thought it was critical to explain the relationship between silver and copper. Now let's spotlight Gunnison Copper Corp, who are based in Arizona. Pivoting from in-situ challenges, they're now pursuing conventional open-pit mining for their flagship Gunnison project, which is low cost and high potential. They kicked off first production at Johnson Camp Mine in August 2025, fully funded through a partnership with mining giant Rio Tinto's Newt. In my opinion, there's no significant risk of dilution at this time due to this partnership with Rio Tinto. It's a setup for success. Touching on a few other catalysts, full production capacity is 25 million pounds a year at the Johnson Camp Mine. In 2026, 2027, they have a planned debt repayment for a clean balance sheet. Plus, they snagged up to 13.9 million in tax credits to support expansion. The preliminary economic assessment was done at $4.10 per pound copper, and with prices now at $4.63 as of filming this video, the upside is higher. The current price is 26 cents Canadian, trading at about 5% of its net asset value compared to peers at 24%. Led by PhD CEO Stephen T., who is a technical expert. We've got the CFO Craig Hallworth, who's the mining finance pro, and Chairman Fred Duvall, who is politically savvy for permitting, which is so critical in mining projects. Aligned perfectly with U.S. policies for domestic supply, catalysts like the pre-feasibility study and progress could drive more attention to Gunnison, benefiting early investors as output ramps. Though risks like access to construction financing, strong rivals, and high $1.94 per pound costs exist, their strategy mitigates well. This is one to watch closely. Don't sleep on it. but I've got a question for you. Would you invest in open pit copper mining? So wrapping it up, copper's 2025 setup is unbeatable, crushing demand from EVs and AI, powerful policy pushes, silver's built-in boost, and Gunnison as a true copper opportunity. Act now, do your own research, and invest smartly. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and hit those notifications for more insights. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Are you bullish on copper? And I guess I'll say, catch you on the next one. Woo!
One stacker on a journey to find silver. International Stacker.